Hello there, it's me, Will Chernoff. Isn't Chris doing awesome? I'm so happy that he's hosting the show, and I promise you won't hear me again in this episode. I'm just jumping on to tell you that I have a different podcast that I'm hosting now with my friend, Chris and I's mutual friend, actually, Carson Tuoro. We like to talk about music, tech, and business, and so we started a podcast together called Upsample, where we talk about those topics, and we're dropping it every week. So if you want to add another podcast to your player, find Upsample wherever you're getting this podcast right now, or watch it on YouTube, and I'll see you over there. Okay, here's Chris. See ya.
Hello and welcome to the Rhythm Changes podcast. I'm your host, Chris Fraser. Thank you for joining me. Today's guest is renowned pianist and composer, good friend of mine, Dean Thiessen. Dean is one of the busiest, most active musicians on the scene in Vancouver, and it is frankly a crime that he has not been a guest on this podcast up until now. Really happy to have him on, finally. I am a member of Dean's large ensemble, the Stranger Friends Orchestra, and the Stranger Friends Orchestra will be releasing its debut record at the end of this month. We also talk about it in the episode, but I'll provide more details for that show at the end of this episode. Dean and I just have a nice, relaxed conversation about composition, why he doesn't play piano in his own big band, and also about his new quartet record that's going to be coming out later this year. So please enjoy our conversation. And we're live. I've been practicing my sportscaster voice.
This is the place for it.
Yeah.
Man. Oh.
I love to start goofy.
Why not?
Yeah. It's only going to get more somber from here.
Yeah, it's just getting sadder and sadder. Yeah.
Okay, we were just talking about the big band.
Yes.
So, because Jason Winnikoff has moved to Connecticut.
He has.
We will miss him in the big band. But Juan is joining us.
Yes, Juan Enchinaus is joining us for the show, which is super exciting. I will say, Jason Winnikoff is still very much a part of this group.
Okay.
And we were going to try to fly him out for this show because that would have been super fun. But the timing of the scheduling didn't work out, blah, 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 blah. In future projects, that will always be a very big option because Jason is a huge part of that group and has basically written his own parts for that group.
Yeah.
I gave him very little
instruction
or like percussion parts.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
It's just slashes that says "Go Crazy."
Yeah, or the drum chart. It's just like a drum chart, and and Jason put in hours of his own prep time and figured out the best ways to do things.
Yeah.
So
he should charge you for that.
He really should.
Are you listening, Jason?
No, I don't have any money.
Yeah, because that reminds me when we did that musical together.
What musical?
Well, maybe we shouldn't say. But we did a musical together in November at the Playhouse.
Oh, right. Yes.
The violinist.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
She was given viola parts.
This is true. Yes, the violinist was given viola parts. And a confused look as to why she couldn't play them.
Yeah, totally. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
They look almost exactly the same to me.
That's what Jason basically did for me. He was basically reading alto clef. And
this is for a drum kit. And you're like, and?
What do you call those things?
Yeah. So funny. Yeah.
Love you, Jason. Oh my goodness.
But that's great, man. Yeah, I love Juan's drumming.
Mm-hmm.
I played with him one time at the Lieber Room. Did you played the Lieber Room quite a bit, right?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, not a ton. I played there with Company B.
Yeah, Company B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
So that was like, how big of a group would that have been at the Liber Room?
It was just quartet. So
Okay.
the three of them and then me playing like stride piano, covering the whole piano.
That was with Jen Hodge.
No, not
Oh, wait, no,
Jen.
I'm
Jen
thinking of
Hodge
something
had already moved by then.
Okay, yeah.
Jen Hodge is in New York, so
That's Bonnie Northgraves.
yeah. And Julie
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Conlon and Shannon Scott.
Right.
Three
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. Yeah.
What was a place where you played where you were like, because when okay, let me ask you like 6 questions at once. When did you move to Vancouver? What year?
I moved here in 2013.
2013.
Yes. My first term at Capilano University was 2013.
Were you straight from Sylvan Lake?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Wow. And so big city, moved to the big city.
Moved to the big city.
And when you
Yeah.
went to Cap, where were you living?
I was living on St. Andrews and Third, so not far from
okay.
the school. Not far
cool.
from Cap. Up there, I had a little attic suite that was really, really nice. But yeah, I was living up there and school. And then I graduated 2016.
Yeah, because you transferred.
Yes.
Yeah.
Transferred around.
Nice. So just in and out of Cap.
Yeah.
Cup of coffee.
Yeah. Easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. As most people
Can
on this
attest.
podcast will say. Yeah. That's good. Okay, so you come here from Sylvan Lake. Were you living in the attic the whole time? Cap?
No. I lived in North Vancouver for 1 year, and then I moved back home to Sylvan over the summer. And then when I came back to Vancouver, I lived in James Prescott. Me and James Prescott lived together, who's a great guitar player.
Yeah.
At Cap, we lived together.
Kelowna boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's one more year in there that I can't. Maybe I lived. No, I lived with James for 1 year.
It was
Anyway.
a crazy year like that.
Yes. My previous comment about it being easy was a lie.
Yeah. It's completely blocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know the feeling. Yeah. Like my last year at Cap, I think I took like 11 courses at once or something like that. And that could be a exaggeration, but not by much.
No. Yeah. It's very realistic.
And one of them was a history of the Middle Ages class.
Oh.
That I was taking concurrently with like Nightcap and like 20th century theory and pedagogy and everything. And there were like a few years ago I like happened upon these full essays that I wrote.
Wow.
About I don't know, like the period right before a war, some war in like the 1100s.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I have zero memory.
Yeah.
Zero memory of writing them.
There's definitely some empty spots at the end of my degree there. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
memory spots.
I remember other stuff, but yeah, that one was really like I was just going for just finishing my degree in that semester, and that's all that mattered. Because I took like 2 straight years of summer classes too.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was just
You were
like
in
I
it.
gotta get
In it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those summer classes were easy though.
Yeah.
Did you ever take summer classes at Cap?
No, I never took summer classes at Cap. I did my degree in 6 years in total. So
Okay,
my
yeah.
last year at Cap was really like a half load,
Okay, that's cool.
because all the transfer credity stuff I kind of had to just kind of clean up in my last term.
Did you get into writing for big band at Cap, or was that something you had an interest in before?
It's kind of when it started at Cap. Yeah, before I was at Cap, I went to Berkeley for a year. Not a lot of people know that about me. I went to Berkeley for one little teensy year.
Berkeley, California.
No.
UC Berkeley?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I did business administration at UC Berkeley for a year. And that's why I fell in love with jazz.
That's where I fell in love with jazz.
big band.
No, at Berkeley and Boston.
Wait, I feel like maybe I knew that, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear that right now. So
Now it's out in the open. It's on the
So
internet
you're
now.
ashamed.
No, I'm not ashamed. I don't like talent. I was there for like a very short period of time. I was there
Yeah,
for
whatever.
two semesters.
That's the cool thing to do at Berkeley is
I
drop
guess
out.
so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what most people do.
Yeah, you
it's like
should drop out.
85% of the student body drops out. So I'm pretty on par.
So
But-
you lived in Boston.
Yeah, for a year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I was taking a course there writing for five horn stuff.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I was like super into it, and I got super into that sound and kind of figuring out how to do all that stuff. And then when I came to Cap, I did one semester, or maybe I think it was just one term of piano with Chris Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
And then I did my jury, and
Uh-huh.
at that point I had been taking piano PMIs for
Yeah.
4 terms.
Oh, wow.
4 years.
Oh,
Because of 2 years before, then 1 year at Berkeley. This was the 4th year.
okay.
And I did my jury, and I said, like, I really don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like the exam thing on my instrument.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Because I had done it a lot, but I mean that's kind of what it is. So then I thought like, oh, I like composing. Maybe that's a better way to like
Yeah.
stretch my brain and like just change it
Sweet.
up a little bit. So yeah, and I was the last graduate at Cap that did like the composition stream, because when I was still there, it was like still a composition,
Oh, yeah.
right? It wasn't like the hybrid performance composition like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it is now, but it was just composition.
Oh, wow.
Arranging. So I didn't have to take piano anymore. Not that I didn't.
So,
not that-
so they've phased that out.
yeah,
They phased out just composition
just straight,
only.
yeah. Now it's performance
Whoa. Okay.
slash
Nice.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you're also really good at piano.
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's paid off.
Yeah. Like those juries paid off. I
Yeah,
guess, and
yeah,
then-
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then You're just like,
Totally.
yeah, I don't need to do that anymore.
It's like I just didn't. It was just the relationship with my piano playing. Just like I got tired of the exams of it all and the academia,
Yeah.
and just like that I just needed to fill that with something else. And
Well,
that
the
was-
funny
that
thing
was-
is that I think there's it's probably way different on piano than it is for guitar. Like, did you have to do a classical piece every time?
yeah, but
Yep.
I really enjoyed all the classical stuff. 'cause
Okay, cool.
I've been playing stuff like that all the time, anyways. So
Okay,
that
yeah.
was actually one of the easier parts of those juries. I mean, I enjoyed doing it all, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I want to do something else. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because my first year we didn't have to do very much classical stuff at all, like on guitar, but there was one in like first year,
Mm.
and I just like I basically almost failed it. But also I just didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't even know how to practice for like
Right.
a while.
Yeah.
Like
That makes sense.
Like did you always have a piano teacher
Where?
as long as you've played piano?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I was playing piano when I was really young, had a piano teacher.
Mhm.
And then I was in high school, and I had a great music teacher at high school, choir, and I played trumpet in high school as well.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I kind of like took a couple years, like grade 11 and 12 off from like
Mm-hmm.
regular piano classes. And I think
Mhm.
that actually really helped. It was like a really nice way of me like figuring out kind of what I liked playing
Yeah.
and kind of challenging myself in different ways. And then
Yeah.
in that process, I decided that I wanted to apply to go to university for piano. And then I prepped with the help of my music teacher, but on my own as well. Yeah, I just kind of figured it out and wanted to make it happen. Yeah.
That's good. I didn't have a guitar teacher until I got to Cap.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I didn't like I feel like maybe I always like I developed like an authority problem cuz like I went from never having a guitar teacher to having a guitar teacher
Yeah.
and being like I'm already here.
The hard part's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm already in heaven.
That's great.
Yeah, I just feel like. Do you think? So did you do a lot of classical piano playing first before you got it? You must have.
I mean, a little bit.
It's always a big part of the curriculum. For
yeah.
piano.
Well, I never did like the RCM piano stuff or anything like that, but I just had teachers who were really good at letting me do what I wanted to do, and I liked and still like kind of classical notation and and that sort of stuff. So and then I got into some blues playing and like the blues stuff, and I really liked that, and that was kind of my like transition into like more improvisation and more jazz. And in church, I was playing at church since I was like 12 years old. So that's also a lot of improvisation and like chords, chord sheets.
I feel like that's a really common thing for people who get into jazz. They play it in church.
Yeah, it's all reading slashes and making it up as you know, filling out the empty space and
that. I guess that is a big part of it. It's just filling up empty space.
Yeah,
and like creating
environment,
matching the vibe.
Yeah. Yes,
that's true.
The vibe,
because you really are like in charge of the vibe.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Did
you do a lot of musical directing in church?
No. Our church was pretty like contemporary stuff. So no, I only got into like doing like choir, like musical direction and stuff like that when I moved out here and kind of got out of Cap. And the church scene here is a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we did that musical together a couple of months ago, you were MD on that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised to see you doing that because I didn't realize that was like in your tool belt.
Oh, I mean, I've MD like not for like musical theater shows.
Yeah.
Really at all.
Yeah.
But I've like MD'd for other kind of like dance stuff, like the Vancouver Tap Dance Society. I've MD'd for them quite a lot, and that's that type of show where you know all the cues and running the show down and stuff. And I did a Sinatra show last year as well. That was very much MDing that and following the show and doing all that stuff. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And then all the choir stuff that I've done before is also very much like hands-on, like in the show. Yeah. Calling it and stuff, which is super fun.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah. I like it though.
But you're good at it, and with the big band I feel
the big band is like the accumulation of every skill that I've developed over the years. It kind of all aims towards that. Yeah.
Did you always have a piano player in the band? Or were you playing piano in the big band? Yeah,
that was a long decision. That took me a long time to figure out as I was kind of thinking of who I wanted to be in this band and
so I remember
putting it together.
Leo Bay had his big band and he was playing piano.
And he was playing piano. Yeah. No, that was really tricky. That was definitely like a very thoughtful thing of like, do I want to play in this band or do I want to just like conduct? And then a lot of it was like, who do I ask to play? And like, I know that like if I was playing piano, the piano would sound the way I would want it to sound. Yeah. Because I can make it sound the way I want it to sound.
You have the best idea of what.
And it's not that so it was like a bit of like finding a piano player who we have similar intentions and similar tendencies. Yeah. That I wanted to, because there's so many great musicians and great improvisers, but I know that blah blah blah. Yeah, I had a specific thing in mind, right? And that's what I get to do because it's my band.
Yeah, I know. No. Because I know that would be like a big decision to.
Yeah, and then when I met Suan, she just like it was just obvious, and I'm like, this is.
What about her? What about her playing?
Well, I think there's like a similar like I don't know what it is. I mean, like we have a lot of like compositional stuff that is the same. Like she's also a awesome composer, and there's a lot of stuff that I've heard her music do that I try to do with my music, and like even just just like a nice like. She's obviously a great classical musician as well. Comes from that practice, but it's also that has translated into her improvisation and
Yeah,
her
because like
composition
your,
skills. So
you know, it's your music is written by a piano player. Like it's
yeah.
like there's like demanding piano parts.
Yeah, some of it is like over notated for sure. So giving it to a piano
I wouldn't say
player-
that, but it's, you know, like you're you know,
Yes,
you have a specific idea.
and it all starts from the piano anyways.
Yeah,
For the most part,
totally.
Most of the pieces start with me playing it on the piano, so that usually makes its way into the orchestration of it,
Yeah,
and that falls on Suan's shoulders.
I don't imagine you write tunes any other way than on the piano.
Yeah, sometimes just sitting at a computer, but mostly piano. Yeah. Something starts there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's well, and also, but I mean, obviously, it frees you up to be able to do all the other stuff. Because like I can only imagine like how much you would really be able to listen to the band like in a rehearsal.
It would be a nightmare
Yeah,
to have to play the specific parts I've thought of for the piano and to like, you know, cue stuff and just hear it
Mhm.
and take it all in. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like it's really hard to like do a kind of active listening where you're able to like really be able to take notes on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like when I was first starting with playing jazz and like, you know, being lectured about improvisation and stuff, teachers would talk about like listening while playing,
Mm-hmm.
and to me that sounded impossible. I remember hearing that for the first time. I was like, I can't listen while I'm playing. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I realized that I was wrong.
Oh.
But I feel like that there is it's different. There's different kinds of listening. I feel like the kind of listening that you do while you're improvising with a group is more based on impulse, right?
Yeah.
You hear something and you respond to it.
Yes.
And you're bypassing logic.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Right. You're bypassing, you know, inhibitions.
Yeah.
At least ideally you are, and you're allowing yourself just to purely respond to
Yeah.
to
Whatever's
an
happening
input.
around you. Yeah.
And that's not necessarily what you want to be doing when you're leading a big band.
No, yeah, because it's all prepared. Like it's all.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think so much of what that band does is like very classical. Like there's like notes that are written on the page, and there's a way to pull it off. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a hit.
Yeah.
It's a hit. Yeah. So being able to just have your ears and all of your head open to an input is it helps a lot being up there.
Yes.
And not having the responsibility
And
other
be able
than
to
just
actually process it
listen.
and be like,
Yeah.
because maybe there's certain band directors who have that way of listening where it's just like, no. They hear something and that's what they say. And it's like, well, that's not really going to help anyone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can actually like process what's happening.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you're very good at being a big band leader in particular.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I think the vibe is always good.
The vibe is
always good in the big
Yeah.
band rehearsals.
That's so
and on the
good.
show.
Yeah.
Because like I wasn't in a whole lot of big bands when I was at Cap. I was in the choir. I was in Nightcap.
I was too. Yeah.
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 And that's a different vibe from a big band.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the rhythm section. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like a separate band from the choir.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But in a big band, I have done big bands before, obviously, before your band. But I feel like people who are in a band, for example, would be like really stressed about being able to nail a part or something like that, right? Like it's like a big part of their life is that they need to be able to like nail something. And obviously, like we want to play your music well,
Mm-hmm.
but I also I'm not fearing for my life.
Oh, good.
Rehearsal, yeah.
I'm glad no one's terrified.
Yeah,
at
should I be?
rehearsals. No. Oh, maybe. No, I think that's important. I mean, like, that's like a big part of that group is like not just like the I think the excellence that we are capable of musically, but also just like a good community of people, and that's very intentional.
Yes.
Right from like figuring out rehearsal times and like
It is pretty incredible to think about how like how powerful like 18 people are.
yeah.
Like you talk about a community, like that is like a community. That's like a
Yeah.
legitimate like community. Like
Yeah.
that could be like a town in northern BC or something. You know what I mean? Like
I guess so. I guess it could be.
Stranger Friends BC.
Yeah, let's go. The commune begins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's inevitable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good album title.
What?
The Commune Begins.
The commune begins.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next one.
I'll let you do that one.
Yeah. Okay, producer credit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Album's coming out.
Yes.
Stranger Friends.
Stranger Friends Orchestra. Yeah, we recorded our show that we did in
last year.
March 2024.
Yeah.
And we picked 4 tracks from that show, and we're releasing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
I feel awesome about it. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of the record again?
Dean Thiessen Stranger Friends Orchestra live at the
Fox Theater.
Yeah.
Okay. Fox Cabaret.
Fox Cabaret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Live at the Fox Cabaret.
That was an awesome show.
It was.
That was really great. Everyone's wearing yellow.
Yeah. It was great. It was such a good vibe, and I'm glad we get to do it there again just because it feels comfy and familiar, and we can just kind of there's not so many like how are we going to XYZ of like all the logistics of the day and stuff. Like it's kind of already been done once. But no, the space sounds great. The energy is really, really fun there, and the show was awesome. It was so much freaking fun.
Yeah, and we filled the place.
Yeah, we did.
And people obviously just really loved the music.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt kind of like it had this importance to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the show felt important because it felt like such accumulation of like we had done other shows like at the Brentwood Presbyterian a couple of times.
Yeah.
And
then at the Vancouver Jazz Festival the
year
before.
Of course, Jazz Fest, yeah.
Yeah, in 2020.
But this one felt like, I don't know, because like, I mean, it's all like the music that we had been working on that whole time.
Yeah.
And this one was being recorded.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something about it felt a bit more like conclusive.
Yeah.
And this time we're going to be playing new music.
New music, yeah.
So last year everyone wore yellow.
Yes.
So this year everyone has to bring a copy of Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
Everyone's just has to be
reading Grapes of
Wrath.
Yeah.
I'm going to be LeBron James style and be on like page 3.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I've been reading this book. I love this book.
Yeah, I love this book.
The reason why I said that is because it's John Steinbeck.
Steinbeck.
Can you explain the John Steinbeck connection?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty simple. I read John Steinbeck's books. I read most of what he's put out non-fiction, or sorry, fiction. And
I was gonna say like he has nonfiction.
Yeah, a bit.
There's some self-help and
like essays and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I started reading his books in like 2016. I had a commute. I had a job where I had like a nice hour commute in either direction, and I started just combing through John Steinbeck stuff. I started with the Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah,
and,
as you do.
As you do, yes. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it in like a very way that I've never really connected with a novel
Yeah.
before, and then I started looking at all this other stuff and just like ate it up.
Yeah.
And and that kind of like led me to.
Is it something about how he describes the prairies?
There's definitely like a prairies connection of like all of his stories, or almost all of them, take place in like generally the same time period, and quite a lot of them in the same area.
Yeah.
Like the same like 100-kilometer area.
Is he like post World War One? Is he in that wave?
He's like
authors.
Two. Like he like
Okay.
published a lot of like 1940s, 1950s.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's definitely like the prairies thing that like I felt connected, because like growing up in the prairies feels like an important part of who I am, and then John Steinbeck growing up in Southern California is such a huge part of who he is. So there was like this definitely like this like home connection that felt really important. And then there was one short story, Chrysanthemum is the name of that short story, and that was the first piece that I composed for my quartet. That was based on that short story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Chrysanthemum was the first one that's on my first album, and now it's going to be performed by us.
Yeah.
By the
I reviewed that album.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about Chrysanthemum.
You did.
I didn't realize that was a John Steinbeck thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
a John Steinbeck thing.
And then you've already written one piece that was inspired by John Steinbeck for the big band.
Yes, that was two actually. One is called "Thou Art a Foolish Chicken," which is based on a short story by John Steinbeck, and then the other one is "Sweet Thursdays," which is a novel by John Steinbeck.
Oh, I didn't know
by the same title.
Sweet Thursdays was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got 3 new arrangements and compositions for to complete the suite, a suite of 5 movements.
Wow. Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna be playing.
That's what we're gonna be playing. It's super cool. I just like there's some of those novels, and it's been so timely too. Like some of the John Steinbeck stuff has been like about like he's super like anti-capitalist in a lot of his stuff, and like I've been working on a piece just in the last few months, kind of thinking about that stuff, and just with all the world things going on, it's just been so timely, and it's been kind of interesting to write these pieces in a time that they feel so appropriate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really interesting.
That's really cool to like be able to. Yeah. I just like taking inspiration from something that isn't directly musical. I love that kind of stuff. Because like, is there something that comes to mind like when you're composing, as far as like, I would like to write about this thing or this story, or is it more like this piece of music reminds me of how I feel when I read this story?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think there's like with the pieces that I've already written, there's like some like definite like connections into like characters in the story and like how they talk.
Oh, cool.
Influences like what the tune is.
Nice. That's
and
cool.
like even like Thou Art a Foolish, or maybe Sweet Thursdays. It's so hard to keep track of what they sound like in my brain. I think Sweet Thursdays.
I'm glad you have that problem too.
I think Sweet Thursdays is a blues form. It's just a very weird blues form.
Yes, it's like the major blues.
Yeah, and it's a very long blues form. I think it's like a 24-bar blues. But it's a blues form because the people in the novel are like very like simple characters, and I felt like a blues form was just like a very very like just structure that felt very indicative to those characters, that they would hear a blues and they would understand what that music meant.
Yeah.
In a yeah.
That tune is so cool. I love that take on the blues. And you should give me a solo on that one.
Yo. Okay, let's go. I actually have a guitar solo in one of these other pieces that I have just finished. that I that,
Pour moi?
for you.
Oh.
Yeah, for you.
I'm still in the band.
It's gonna be super screechy. It's like my thought was like, do you know when there's a recording of Jimi Hendrix playing
the Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah, Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
That's my vision for
Really?
this guitar solo. It's like a super angsty piece.
Whoa.
And yeah.
I don't. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm real scared.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I'll tell you about it more on our first rehearsal.
When we rehearse next week. I can't wait to see it. Because that's not easy. Now I'm so scared.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
What do you want me? Do you want me to play my Strat? Do you want me to?
Oh yeah,
Like lots of distortion and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about that piece in particular because it's not like a fun podcast talk. It's pretty. That's the thing. Like John Steinbeck, he wrote about real stuff. This was a piece that he wrote in response to the Second World War.
Yeah,
and he actually published it in the war, and it was circulated around occupied Europe.
Oh,
as
wow.
like underneath the nose of the enemy.
Well, I guess I mean that was a thing like early on in the war, right? Like America didn't participate for a while,
right? Yeah.
And lots of there were lots of outspoken authors who were like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you know.
So it's a really epic piece, and again, it's been very.
Was he an anti-isolationist? As far as
I don't know
because that was a big thing.
I don't know what his opinions were as far as that, but he just has this novel called The Moon is Down. It's crazy. It's just like it's a crazy commentary on the war.
The Moon is Down,
which it's not like super fun podcast talk, but
whatever.
You're gonna do a sick guitar solo about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Is there any required reading for this show?
No.
Any homework?
The Grapes of
have to do?
Wrath would be great.
Yeah.
Chapter 5.
I actually have LeBron'd The Grapes of Wrath. I've read the first chapter of Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
And that's
it's a slow start.
Yeah. I also just I need to just go out and get a copy of it because I'll start reading a book on my phone, like an ebook or something, and then I get tired of reading it on my phone.
Right.
Like I just develop fatigue.
You just don't want to stare at your phone. Yeah. That's probably healthy, Chris.
Yeah. Or something. No, it's not that I put my phone down. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to read that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to read stupid stuff.
Oh man. That's
I keep doing that. I keep reading like just the first parts of books. Like I started reading Flowers for Algernon and I was like, oh, this seems pretty good. Anyway.
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Are you always been a reader?
No. It basically started with all this stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's a relief. Because I also was not always a reader.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I think that's common with musicians.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff to do to occupy
we're very busy people,
and even just like in our hobbyist musician side of our activities. There's lots to do there. Yeah, that's enjoyable.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to play your music because you've been periodically texting me about if any of the guitar parts that you're writing are kosher to play.
Guitar is a big mystery.
Yeah.
I have a few. There's a few people in the ensemble that I send texts of like, is this a thing? Can you play this?
Do you think Chris will get mad at me if I show him this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Rory's like, I don't know. No.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. But that's always helpful because I don't know.
Gregory Dent's just like, no, don't show him that. No, he'll flip his lid.
Yeah. Chris is gonna be so mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that text a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm usually too nice about it because you're like, is this possible? And I'm like, yeah, I could just tune my E string down. I'll just tune my E string down to C sharp, and then that will work.
That'll work.
And then I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And you're like, okay, cool.
Great, thanks. Print.
Yeah.
Print and tape.
That is a thing, though.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
That is a thing. You can do at the beginning of a guitar piece of music. You can say which string you want to have tuned.
That sounds
what?
great. Too many things. It's
But usually that's only for drop D.
yeah. No, thank you.
There's a couple pieces of music that are adapted to drop D. Anyway, so that's going to be a heck of a show.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I also have one really fun surprise that we're doing
Let's go.
for... I'm not going to tell you now.
What?
What? We're going to... last year, we opened the show with the Splanky... The
Yes.
Splanky thing, which I thought was just
yes.
like... It felt so right to do it.
Yeah.
And it took so many hours for me to make that joke land. But it was so freaking worth it. We started with what was this?
Da 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 ba 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 ba. Right.
Then it went into a very crude arrangement of Splanky.
Yeah, and everyone had 4 bars of solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was hilarious. So I kind of wanted to keep something like that. So it's not quite as crazy. Oh, I have a couple ideas. One is it just takes so much freaking time to tell a joke with a big band.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what makes it funny. It's
Hours
like
of
the most insane
Yeah.
setup in the world.
Um,
Hours and hours and hours of writing and arranging and rearranging and reviewing and editing and texting and re-editing,
Printing and taping.
and then putting together 2 rehearsals that take a million years to put together.
just to be like, right? Am I right?
Get it?
Get it? Because
Movies?
movies?
The movies?
Start of a movie?
Yeah.
Well, no, this one's going to be really fun. I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing a song.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I haven't heard you sing a song since your wedding.
Yeah, that you
sang Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
you were there.
I was there.
Yeah.
You sung with Cindy.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
Ain't no mountain high.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
What are you going to sing? Or that's a surprise.
That's a surprise.
Nice.
It's going to be really fun though.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Now I can't. I need to know.
No, well, it's in it's in the Google Drive, Chris. It's in the chart Google Drive.
The chart. I've been referring to like not seeing this music all the time. You're just stewing like. What do you mean?
Clearly,
you haven't seen the music yet?
it's always the thing in a rehearsal when you show up to rehearsal and you haven't practiced.
Yeah.
You haven't looked at any of the music,
That's never happened
and
to
then
me.
you like click on the Drive link in like you set up your stuff and you're like, oh right, the charts, and you go to the Google Drive or like the email or the text. You click on the Google link and it asks you to request access, and you're like, gah. God, then you got to be like, hey, I don't know why it's can you give me access to the Google Drive link with all the charts that you sent like a month ago?
Yeah.
That's never happened
and
to me.
you're like, oh yeah.
That's never happened to me.
What? Oh, I guess did you get like a new email address or something?
That's it. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. My entire Gmail got
Wiped.
deleted.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
It's gone. All of my I deleted all of my permissions from shared Google Drives for some reason. I got hacked or something. Just now.
Just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be so good. May 31st.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Or something. Probably doors at 7.
Doors at 7, music at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an Infidels production.
Yeah.
The,
so
the record
Infidels.
is an Infidels.
Yeah,
production.
yeah. We're putting it out on the Infidels. Yeah, I'm super, super glad that he was into that idea.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yep, let's make it happen." So yeah, super.
Yeah,
great.
that's sweet.
Yeah, it's cool because I was like, it's just nice to like everything with that group is like when you start your own big band, most things are like very much uphill and very much by yourself. Very work by yourself on 90% of everything.
Yeah.
Except the actual
Playing of the
instruments, which is a big deal. But
Thank
all
you.
of that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. But just
I was waiting
having
for that.
having Tim and having somebody there to like help the production and just like somebody else to like do stuff and to bounce stuff off of is huge. So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah. It's going to be on a label. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's going to be streaming.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
On all the streamings?
On all the streamings.
Nice. Is there going to be... Are you going to sell physical copies of the record?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that is right now.
Yeah. I know.
I feel
Actually,
like
that's a good point.
we don't know what physical means right now because CDs sometimes are good in the jazz thing. CDs
I'm
are
hearing
good.
that CDs are coming back.
I hate this so much.
Which is so funny.
Yeah.
Like CDs are like cassette tapes now. They're like
Right.
they're retro and cool now.
Great.
So
This
you-
one we're not going to do any physical
Yeah.
for. I just don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna do download code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Because people are gonna want to have it in their iTunes library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or VLC player library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to listen to it in FLAC
Or nothing.
or nothing. I'm a FLAC man.
Flack.
I said it like that. That'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have another thing to announce.
My quartet.
Your quartet.
Yeah, we're releasing
New
an
DTQ.
album. New Dean Thiessen Stranger Friends Quartet
Yeah.
record.
Sorry,
coming out.
DTSFQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All about the acronyms. Yeah, we're releasing
got a ring to it.
a new record,
Mm.
which is super exciting. We recorded it in November
Mhm.
of last year, and it's coming out at Jazz Fest this year. We're releasing it during a show at Jazz Fest, which is on... I need to check my calendar because I don't actually remember.
I think I remember seeing it was the 22nd.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 22nd at Ocean
Works.
Works. Yeah, on Granville Island. Yeah,
Wait, now I'm looking at your website.
do it.
Is it up to date?
Yeah,
Whoa, good for you.
always.
I love looking at people's websites and it being like shows from 2017.
Yeah, I like keeping stuff organized like that. Not that other people aren't organized. I just it's a part of I enjoy doing it, which is
Yeah.
yeah. I like keeping it
and you
all.
recorded that in November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recorded in November. So yeah, super exciting.
How many tracks are on that?
It's only six. Only 6 to not only. I think it felt really good. This is a thing. This is a thing that it felt like 6 wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But it's what I had.
How long are the tracks?
Like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like just over half an hour.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, and see, this is okay. So this is like the artist thing of like, it's only 6 songs. I wish we had one more, but I didn't have one more.
Yeah.
There wasn't another song that like felt right to
Right.
include. And we had 2 days in at Afterlife Studio.
Cool.
And those 2 days felt amazing.
Great.
Really productive. We got 6 tracks. we weren't like stressed for time.
That felt like nice and clean.
We had enough takes.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
felt really good.
Yeah, being able to
And
do
then it was
6
all done.
tracks over 2 days.
And then it was all done.
That's nice and cushy.
And if we had like other songs, it might have felt a little more constricted, or like a whole other day in the studio, which is expensive, and like
yeah.
so it just felt like what we were able to do.
This is just where it's at.
Exactly.
This is
yeah.
where it's at in
Yeah.
2025. Late 2024, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the same quartet as before. You
Yeah.
have Winston and Thad
That.
and Ben Parker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I
How do you
feel
about
great
the record?
about
Yeah.
it. I mean, like, this feels like we recorded our first record in like 2021, and then since then we've like played that
Mhm.
music lots, and we've rehearsed lots. Like during COVID, we played lots
Cool.
together.
Yeah.
So the band feels really close and
Mhm.
very tight and very easy. Like
Mhm.
all of the music came together. Some of it was like pretty tricky compositionally. There was some tricky bits that I was a little like, are we gonna have enough time to like rehearse this and get this down? And it just totally just happened. It just fell
Mhm.
together because all three of them have played my stuff enough that they just kind of. It feels so nice to have three musicians like that who,
Yeah.
you know, I can put something in front of them and kind of explain what I'm going for and like play it a little, and they're like, got it. Like I see it.
Yeah, that's a really good
So
thing to have.
special. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of feel that way right now about my quartet.
Nice.
You know,
It's huge.
just to have like a group of people who kind of like who sort of know where you're coming from. It's really like
And it only comes with that time of
Yeah.
of playing together a bunch and jamming.
yeah, that's
and
really like
playing
what
gigs.
sort of like sets certain records apart, right? Like
Mm.
like being able to have a lot of time together to build this sort of intangible musical connection
Yeah.
that you can build with
Yeah.
with a band, right?
Yeah.
Because there's certain like, you know, when there's like I guess there's like exceptions, but I feel like, you know, when people just get together to make a record and then never see each other again.
Yeah, like the hired group kind of.
Yeah. Like I feel like,
yeah, it's
you know, you're probably reading
hmm
and so if you're reading, then it's going to take away from your ability
Mhm.
to really open up your brain.
Yeah, potentially for sure. Yeah.
And so like, but that's also like a legitimate work, obviously, but it's just
Mhm.
going to be different.
Yeah.
So like when you want to have like that really like close, open, I want to say like intimate
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah. Very.
type of sound that you can have with a band like that.
Yeah.
You need to have played together a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You need to be able to establish your, like what your approach is going to be on something, and
Yeah.
like, and so yeah, I feel like that's a super important thing to have for, especially for a small group. I think.
Mm. Yeah.
Have you? I'm trying to think. Did you have anyone else guest on your record before?
Yeah. The first record is
Didn't you have Gavin?
Gavin Grachowski.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking like if that was the record. I
Yeah,
was thinking of.
saxophone player.
Yeah,
Gavin. Yeah.
And I've talked about this on the podcast before. Do you feel like 5 feels different than 4?
Totally.
5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like if I did another record with more horns, it would have to be 3 horns. Just like the Holy
Like
Trinity. I feel like
Jazz Messengers thing.
Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't quite know how to. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough to like know how I would think about writing for 2 horns creatively.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of. I mean, I think there's lots of what happens with the Stranger Friends Quartet is my piano playing is another horn player.
Yeah.
Like me and Thad are playing tunes a lot of the time together.
Yeah.
So that feels like the right thing to do at that moment.
Mhm.
It's always fun to have more people, but that's kind
Yeah.
of what my big band is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just
pendulum
take it
swings,
to the extreme with the big band.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, like You're just gonna end up having like every number of musicians,
Yeah.
Stranger Friends, Stranger Friends 11 tet, Dodeca tet.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. But what's really cool about the orchestra as well, thinking about like musicians who have played together a lot, the orchestra has played together a ton.
Yeah.
Like we started getting together during the pandemic.
I know we were playing a lot.
And we rehearsed. I think
rehearsed that music a lot.
Twice a month for at least like 6 months. I think that's about what we did.
It was that frequently. And you and me and Todd were in the VCC bigger band together, and we played your music a lot in that.
Exactly. Yeah, that was kind of like that band was a huge lifesaver.
Yeah.
And I wrote a lot of music for that band that has turned into Stranger Friends stuff.
I remember playing Freddie C for the first time.
Yeah.
You debuted Freddie C.
Yeah, with that slightly
band.
Smaller group at VCC.
There's a recording of Freddie C on YouTube.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember John Corsford was so impressed with my my country-ish sounding guitar playing, like fake country guitar playing that I did on that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it can't be that good. But John is like the sweetest man in the world.
Yes, agreed.
But he's also pretty experienced with lots of music, so I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always write fun music, man. So
nice.
Like, that quartet is probably going to be really great, because I always find that like the fewer people in a group means there's more room for freedom in the way that things are felt, right?
Yeah.
There's more air. There's literally more air in the group.
Yeah.
And so you can be less ordered. And the more people in the group, the more order is required.
Yeah.
And more order can be really good. But it also makes it so that there's less disorder.
Yeah.
So you have to make that decision. And I feel like somewhere around like 4 or 5 is where you start to
tighten things up. You gotta start drawing some hard.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can build a tolerance for disorder in a larger band if you can rehearse more.
Yes. Yeah.
And get comfortable with each other.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good way to say it.
And I think so like with the big band, you can get real loose with it if everyone's comfortable.
Which I think happens in that group often.
Yeah.
Where there's lots of room for like big collective improvisation.
Yeah.
And there's enough strategic voices that I have
Which one is the one on the record coming out that has like a big collective improvisation moment?
There's Sweet Thursdays.
Sweet Thursdays, yeah, okay.
Gets pretty
and near the end.
Raucous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one that I think the other one that has a lot is Yellow.
I think I'm thinking of Yellow,
you're
actually.
Thinking of Yellow.
Yes.
Yeah. The EP is Sweet Thursdays, Thou Art a Foolish Chicken. Someone Told Me is the name of the other tune.
And Freddie C.
Yeah. And then Freddie C. So there's like, when I think of the collective improvisation, there's like the hierarchy of a large ensemble being like the trumpet, like the first trumpet player.
Yep.
Who in this band is Rory Hislop.
Yep.
Is like if you need somebody at the helm of a large ensemble making strange enough sounds to like help everybody or like be the shining light of what this should sound like, it's him.
Yeah.
That's what Rory does so good, is he provides that energy and that sound so clearly that like the large ensemble ears that horn players have, which are crazy ears to hear like everything and have this like brain connection to people beside them and behind them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. that like that's the only reason why that sounds so good
Yeah.
in that group is because those players have that so
yeah,
strongly.
there really is like a special itch in my brain that gets scratched when I'm playing something unison with the trombones. Like,
It's a great sound.
it's like so cool to
Yeah.
be playing something and then hear someone 15 feet away from me playing the same thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why, but it's just and like the texture is always very
Yeah.
cool sounding.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
in a great range for the guitar usually.
Yeah.
In like that sort of like tenor range.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
Ooh,
it just
it's a
always
sweet
sounds really
spot.
cool.
Sweet spot. Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like yeah, that big band was sounding really nice and comfortable at the time of that recording. So I'm excited to get back into rehearsals.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's just I wish I could do it all the time.
Yeah.
Most of my favorite days when I'm like at home working on stuff is when I'm just writing music for that band.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could do that every day. It's not always easy days or good days like anything creative. It's never fun all the time. But the days that it's fun, it's like I wish I could just do this every day.
Do you ever like when you're writing for big band, do you ever have like obviously you'll have like, you know, a bass line and a melody or something to go off of. But does it always start there? Or do you think maybe sometimes you're thinking of a groove first, or you're thinking of even just like a chord texture that you want to play around with?
Yeah.
Like where does it always start in different places, or like
I'd say it's a little different, but I think most recently it's been a bit of like chord texture, and I feel like the way that or like tonal centeriness, which I think like is like the very kind of classical thing that I am drawn to in like jazz composition, where there's change, like swing jazz composition, where there's a lot of changes going by. That's very typical. Whereas when you hear like great orchestral composers, like usually, and in some cases, the harmony is going by at such a slow pace. Yeah. And there's so much stuff happening on top of it. Yeah. And I feel like that's a sound that I really like. I think I like Shostakovich and things like that, where there's like the double basses aren't always, but sometimes just like holding whole notes while just like crazy stuff is going on. And like within that, there's these like different textures of time passing. There's things going by slowly, there's things going by quickly, and there's everything in between. Wow. Right. So like I feel like with the orchestration of a large ensemble, there's so much to explore over one tonal center, because there's all these instruments to play with that to me, this is like a very personal composition thing. To me, I have more fun playing around with that than figuring out chord changes. And like how to get from one chord to the next and keep that dun 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 dun.
Like you're more interested in
like, this is a tonal idea. Yeah. And then like where's the tune in that? Where's the accompaniment? Like kind of within that sound. So that's kind of what most of the pieces that I've written in the last while have kind of been about. Right. Been kind of the approach.
Like zooming in a little bit more. Yeah. But then like having like just like texturizing one singular harmonic texture.
Yeah. Kind of squeezing the orange.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Where does how do you fit a guitar into something that's inspired by Shostakovich? The jazz guitar.
Well, so my Stranger Friends Orchestra was one horn smaller in each group, right? There's
That's true. Yes.
4 saxophones, 3 trumpets, and 3 trombones, and a typical swing large ensemble. Yeah. But so the guitar is kind of that extra horn sometimes.
It is a lot of the time.
A lot of the time, I have you playing
Yeah.
with the trumpet or
Like if
playing
I'm
in the
doing
trombone or
if
like
I'm
playing
doing regular in this band, if I'm doing regular big band stuff, like if I'm doing like Freddie Green, it's as a bit.
it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's so true.
But it's like a loving joke.
Yeah.
Like you're not making fun of anything, but it is like
Yeah.
like so we're gonna do this kind of thing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that though. And like, yeah, if the idea is to ham it up in something, like I'm
Yeah.
200% game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my job in the band is, I guess like filling in some
A
spaces.
lot of like horn playing,
doubling
stuff.
and-
doubling and
But I'll do like a texture, or I'll do a
ostinato. Like
Yeah,
sometimes there's like
ostinato.
the very like a nice repetitive.
just stuff that
ostinato.
feels really cool to play
Mm.
in a big band as a guitar
Nice,
player. Yeah,
nice.
not that actually. Okay, well I should say that I do actually really really enjoy doing the typical big band stuff. Like
Yes.
doing like Freddie Green chunking is something that I like. I enjoy just playing quarter notes.
Totally, I get it.
And there are some great moments to do that in your band, or doing something with that spirit.
yes.
But also, being trusted with written parts is really nice as a guitar player.
Nice.
It's like, wow, really?
Me?
Notes? Real notes? Not just slashes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Are you sure, sir?
Are you sure? Oh, that's not your part.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah, something that's written for the guitar
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah, I like to play the guitar. Yeah. Well, I'd hate to cut this conversation short because I'm having a great time, but you have to get to a gig in less than an hour.
Oh no. Yeah, I do.
And we got to eat some dinner.
Yeah.
But by George, it was
This
great
was
to
fun.
finally have
Yeah.
you on the podcast.
Thanks, Chris.
I don't know why it took so
Yeah.
long, but
We'll
you're
do
here.
it
We're
again.
here.
We'll do it again.
Thanks for coming over. We will do it again for
Let's
sure.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we will see you together on the 31st.
The
and
Fox
I'm
Cabaret.
sure we'll play some other gig together at some point, but we'll see you on the 31st. So
Yeah.
come out May 31st. Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Thanks so much to Dean Thiessen for joining me on the podcast. The Stranger Friends Orchestra album release show will be at the Fox Cabaret, where it was recorded about a year ago, on May 31st. Doors will be 7:30. This band sold out the Fox when we did this recording, so it is liable to sell out again. If you have the opportunity, get your tickets now while they are available. A link for the tickets is in the description. To find out more about where Dean is playing, or where I'm playing, or anybody else in the scene really, head to rhythmchanges.ca and have the weekly newsletter along with the renowned Vancouver Jazz gig list sent directly to your email inbox every Tuesday by subscribing to the free weekly newsletter. Thank you for listening as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.